A gifted guitarist just told us that this 70s superstar, one of the biggest superstars of the 70s, really trusted his band. Didn't have to give them a lot of directions. He picked them, he trusted them, and he was Elton John. We talked to his former guitarist, Caleb Quay.
Someone asked, Bernard Joseph says, what is the greatest artist Caleb has ever worked with?
Boy, that's a tough one. I would have to say most probably Elton. Because he was, even though, he don't play any other instruments, it's piano and singing and of course, songwriting. But in what he did, what he does, what he did, what he brought to the table was complete. It was complete, You knew exactly what the verse was. You knew exactly what the chorus was. You knew what the bridge was. It was very complete. And he trusted the musicians that he had around him. I did an interview just a few days ago, and somebody asked me, did Elton ever tell you what to play or hum a guitar line to you? Never. He just played the song. He trusted the chemistry that we had.
Yeah.
That's such a valuable thing is for years, me and him would get together and we listened to the same music, and it was all kinds of music. I mean, everything, jazz, classical, folk, rock, you name it, we listened to all of it, we were avidly studying production styles and technique, just going at it like detectives, And so basically, if he would suggest anything, it would be a genre.
Right.
He would say, here's this song, I'd like it to sound like Memphis. Oh, okay. I know what that sounds like. So, Steve Cropper.
Did you run into racism?
Oh, sure.
And how were you prepared for that? Like, did you have friends, family? I remember talking to, there's a duo called Tuck and Patty.
Oh, yeah. Right.
He's a guitarist. He's white. She's black. She's an amazing voice. I remember having lunch with them in Edmonton. Yeah. And I asked them, and they said, oh, my God. I could tell you stories. She said, we don't share them. We don't name names. But
sure.
Were you prepared for that?
I was, because of my father, my parents. They were professionals. My father was a professional musician, and he was black, and he encountered racism, and I used to see him get upset. But both my mother and my father, my mother was a dancer, and they instilled something in me that whatever you've been gifted with, you need to be as good as you can possibly be. So my mother used to go for auditions for dancing. She'd be the only black girl in there, And she used to tell me, she said, well, if you're black and you go to these auditions, you need to be able to dance on your eyebrows.
Wow.
Yeah. So she would see, other white girls go in who couldn't dance that well, but if they looked okay, they'd get the gig. But she knew that their timing was off and blah, 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 blah. But if you're black, the only way to rise above that is to be better.
Good advice.
Oh, it is. It really is. It really, we're given gifts, so, do whatever it is that makes you shine, do that, And so that's what I did as a young kid. I was good at athletics in school. I was one of the fastest runners in about 4 schools I went to, all this kind of stuff, and it was, because people used to say things, and I thought, okay, all right, see you on the track. And then I had when I was 13, I had a band in school, and we used to win all the school competitions. And we're playing Chuck Berry, early Beatles and stuff, and the girls would start screaming, And their boyfriends would get upset. They want to beat me up because I got some color on me and they want to beat me up. But I was very fortunate in that a good friend of mine in the school just happened to be the All England schools boxing champion. Guy by the name of Tony Bent. He was black too. And so he would escort me out to the bike rack.
Thanks, Tony.
School. Yeah, unbelievable. I had my own security at school at 14 years old. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, props, man.
Yeah. So this is something, this kind of ethic. So coming up through the 60s, I never bothered. The racism was there. I used to see people get real upset about it, but I was always very confident in knowing what I could do. So when I got booked for a gig or something, I was going to show up there prepared and play some guitar that basically nobody else at that time could play.
Yeah.
Because I knew one thing that what is it? My dad used to tell me, you're only as good as your last gig. So if a producer or an agent or somebody's watching, you're only as good as you are on that day, which is going to determine whether or not they're going to book you back.
Yeah. Yeah. And he'd know, your dad.
Oh, he knew. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, your mom knew.
Yeah, they both knew it. Yeah.
Okay, having listened to you explain it in that way, let me ask you, when you put the book together, when you put the documentary together, we live in a society where someone releases an album, all the younger generation, and all of a sudden, not to mention names, but Demi Lovato comes to mind. Someone who says, all of a sudden there's this big scandal that they release, and I'm going, can't you sell it without doing that? But it brings the question of when obviously you know things about all these artists that you're not going to repeat because it's that, it doesn't need to be said. It's not necessary.
Right.
How was that for you of going, you don't seem like a type of man that would do that, but how do you balance that when you're doing interviews, when you're writing a book, documentary, how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's an issue of integrity. And I don't want to, everybody I've worked with, I try to extract what's positive out of it, Of course, we all know it was a world of, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but I'm not going to harp on all of that because we've all made mistakes and stuff like that, so what, that doesn't help anybody to just kind of focus on that. I'd rather focus on the good things.
Yeah.
The positive things that I got out of it that helped shape me to be the kind of musician and person that I am today. And so that's why I won't do that, And my book in the movie, it doesn't say anything bad about Elton. It doesn't point at everybody knows what Elton's been through, so I don't harp on that, and just, I kind of rather more focus on the music, what made the music, the friendships, the chemistry, and a whole lot of laughs,
Hope you enjoyed that. We'll have more from Caleb Quaye in the next few days. If you want to pick up his new book, a new version of the new book, updated, there is links at the very top of the description. Remember, if you want to help the channel, the 2 P's are there. Patreon, you can have early access to our videos. Or if you simply want to make a donation to Rock History Music or Rock History Book, the link is at the very top of the description for PayPal. Or simply buy a t-shirt. Remember to like our videos. It makes a big difference. And if you like what you see, subscribe to our channel, share our videos on social media, and make a comment. We always read the comments. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music.